Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Boy, I got to tell you, I'm looking today, I'm looking around, and I don't know. I mean, we get the senators all pissed off because the FBI was spying on them, but none of them seem to care when the FBI was spying on regular Americans. They didn't care about moms and dads on school, that were speaking out at school boards being spied on. They didn't care about the J6ers going to jail, even though it was a Democrat plot. They didn't care about any of this. But boy, spy on those senators, and they get fussy about it. Because imagine that double standard. And speaking of double standards, we also have James Comey. James Comey, a guy who arguably committed treason, certainly committed a ton of crimes, and who has yet to be perp walked, has yet to actually be arrested in any way that makes it. I mean, this is a joke, folks. It's a joke. There's a double standard out there that is absolutely appalling. And it just makes me sick. It's no wonder, so many people are so disengaged from politics right now. It's because they know it's a joke. The entirety of Washington is corrupted to the point that it's just irreparable. And yeah, listen, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I love Donald Trump, but he ain't getting the job done. He's got too many damn snakes around him. He's spending too much time telling us how great a job Pam Bondi and Susie Wiles are doing, while they're meanwhile screwing the country. He needs to get a grip on this. There's a couple heads that need to roll. It's no better than the first time around. We got snakes around him. So I don't know. I'm frustrated about some of this, folks. The mRNA shots continue to march on, killing people, poisoning people. We see that they are integrating into our DNA, cause cancer, destroy everything. I mean, it's a nightmare. But don't worry, we're going to partner with Pfizer and Anthony Bourla because, well, Susie Wiles is still lobbying for the company that works to represent companies like this. I don't know what to say about this, folks, other than we had better get our butts in gear and start fighting back and pushing and trying to get it to Donald Trump himself. We got to get the message at Donald Trump, because if Trump himself actually hears and understands what we the people are saying and doing, he'll respond, because he's a great president, a great man, and that's what he does. Unfortunately, when his gatekeepers and the people around him are all keeping that information away from him, lying to him, I don't think he hears a lot of it. In fact, I'm pretty sure he does not, based on what I'm hearing. And I've got all sorts of wonderful information on it. But so that's all happening. And did you guys know that there's a government shutdown? Does anybody care? I mean, I got to be honest with you. I think we're like day 9 or something, and I personally haven't noticed anything about it. Other than the fact that I get an occasional headline and I don't care. And maybe that's the point, folks. Maybe that's the point. Nobody cares. So let's just leave it shut down. It just means that they can't cause any more trouble for us. Lots of stuff happening, and I'm excited to get into it. I want to start out with some of this mRNA poison, danger, death, chaos that is continuing to ensue. But before I do, a grifter's got a grift, so please, we need your help. We need your support. Go to givesendgo.com/RenzLaw, givesendgo.com/RenzLaw. Here you see it. We need you guys to donate. Your donations keep us going. We're still fighting. We got a lot to do. Getting ready to do some big work on the child kidnapping, some of that stuff out of Oklahoma. We got a bunch of stuff going on in a whole bunch of states. We got a whole bunch of things happening, but we need your help. We come here every day and we try and share truth with you. We try and fight the good fight, but your support is what makes it possible. So givesendgo.com/RenzLaw. Become a monthly supporter if you can, or a one-time donor, whatever you can do. We need your help. Also, don't forget to go to TimeRenz.com, TimeRenz.com. You have to type TimeRenz.com. You can't search Time Renz. Go to our shop and check out our partners and affiliates. And it's Thursday. It's Thursday. So we got my great friend, Mark Sherwood, coming on today. And so, go here, scroll down, and support all our guys. We love Block Trust. We love Dulcet. You got to look and see. Use code RENZ on most of the stuff. Code RENZ10 on these guys. But you have to look and see. Use our checkout code for discounts. They're all listed here. You can get anything you want to get. But I want you to scroll down to the Kingdom Fuel. Kingdom Fuel, Mark Sherwood. Great friends to the show, great friends to me. Mark and Michelle are some of the best people I know. And Mark and Michelle are my doctor. right? If I'm sick, I'm never sick, but if I am sick, I'm calling Mark and Michelle. The reason I'm never sick is because I go to Mark and Michelle, and so they keep me healthy as can be because they don't just practice sick care; they keep you healthy, and they not only keep you healthy, but hey, I'm in great shape for an old dude. I'm 48 years old and I'm going. I'm working 16-hour days. I'm running and gunning. I'm still working out in great shape. It's because I work with Mark and Michelle. We've got supplements, we've got all sorts of things, peptide therapy, hormone replacement therapy, all sorts of things that they can do for you. They are the best out there. They're good people. They'll give you what you need, whether it's natural, whether it's not, whatever you need to do. And I want to urge you to make sure you're supporting them. When you click on Sherwood.tv/Renz, Sherwood.tv/Renz, so go to the screen, you'll see this. Click on this big blue circle. That's how you can make an appointment to hire Mark and Michelle to be your doctors. They're wonderful people. And then while you're there, make sure you're checking out the Kingdom products, Kingdom Fuel, Kingdom Candy, Kingdom this, Kingdom that. I love Kingdom Candy. Also, don't forget the H2 thermos. I got one back there somewhere. Love the H2 therapy. It's something you need to be on. If you're not on it, you need to be looking into it. But get some Kingdom Candy, by the way. It's like my favorite. Eat it with cheese. I always tell Mark if he would start selling cheese with Kingdom Candy, because man, I'm telling you, the Kingdom Candy is really good. And if you eat it with a slab of cheese, I'm a cheese junkie. I'm telling you, the best stuff out there. I love this stuff. Anyways, all right. Well, let's get to the show because we got a lot to do. And I want to bring, speaking of the devil, I want to bring my friend Mark on. Let's put Mark on screen if we could. Mark, how are you doing today? I'm glad to have you here.
Hey, I'm doing well, Tom. One day I'm going to show up. I don't have one yet, but I'm going to surprise you one day wearing a cheesehead hat. I'm going to do that.
Well, I'm telling you, man, what we need to do is offer a Kingdom cheese line because I don't know what it is, but I love the Kingdom candy, but I love it with the cheese. I don't know. It's like if I get a Kingdom candy bar, I'm like, and they're not candy. They just taste like candy. They're really, really good, but they're protein. They're healthy. They're great for you. I mean, I use them as a pre-workout or a post-workout sometimes, and they're wonderful. So
I think we need to come up with the product Kingdom Cheese, like KHEESE to spell it uniquely like that. I think we got a $1 million idea right there.
I'm in. I'm promoting that one. I'm Renz's Kingdom cheese.
Oh my gosh, that's good. That's good.
It's something. It's something. Mark, I don't know. Have you had a chance? Have you seen the stuff coming out about the ties between breast cancer and the COVID jabs?
Yeah, I've looked at some of that, and I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think there's a lot of merit to those associative studies again, and we've got to get a hold of this because with breast cancer as a whole, and man, it affects people more so today than ever before. We're not making a dent in that.
No.
It's sad, and a lot of the talk out there will get your mammograms and all that stuff. Okay, fine, but that does not stop breast cancer. It sort of can sometimes maybe determine if there's a tumor there that looks unusual. So sometimes I should say it perhaps would elicit maybe some discovery for that, but it doesn't correct it. So I think that the COVID-19 vaccines and other things in particular have yielded sad but increasing, breast cancer cases.
Well, we've seen, so we just had the peer review study came out in XCLE journal,
Yep.
So it's peer reviewed. And Mark, we know because Anthony Fauci told me, if it's in a peer reviewed journal, it's a science and no one's allowed to question that.
Yeah.
So we know that per that, cancer has surged 23% in people who got the COVID jabs. 23%. That is insane. And this was a large study, 300,000 people tracked for 30 months, plus 23%. Breast cancer is up 54% in that study. Bladder up 62%. Colorectal up 35%. I mean, these are real serious cancers. They're no joke.
Yep.
And I mean, But I mean, you and I've talked about it. You get the jab, you get cancer. I mean, the FDA it said in 2006 in their industry guidance document that if you get these gene therapy drugs, that you may have delayed cancer come in. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone other than the fact that our government lied about it.
Well, they're still lying, Tom.
Yeah.
I know we all want our current president to be receptive to this particular argument, but it's not happening. And
No.
if we are aware of it, we will see, as you mentioned in your intro, the press conferences noting the partnership with Pfizer and the heroism compliments that were placed upon them for the way they handled COVID. And that's the way it was. We really need to see that. And there's a partnership there that's going to cause expansion of this type of therapy. And that is a concern. And we need to be aware of this today. And we need to understand that any sort of mRNA therapy has not been tested. And this right now, this is a classic example right here, Tom, of a therapy or a modality that I'm stretching it on this. Maybe somebody thought it was a good idea, right?
Yeah.
And so they did it without testing it. They had Operation Warp Speed. I think that word is very appropriate for this particular situation. We warp speeded something. We took credit for that. We didn't test it sufficiently. And this is the kind of stuff that should have came out before we went that direction, and it didn't. And to me, I'm not disappointed. I've come to expect it. I've come to expect it because when I see the press conferences and stuff like that, I'm like, this whole deal's been a big old scam, and America needs to wake up. There's a great delusion that's came across America. Some in the MAGA movement, of course, we just don't see it, and maybe don't want to see it, and I just don't know, man. I think that, as I've said to you many times, the Make America Healthy movement is shaded with this idea of I look at the maha versus haha. I think it's mostly haha at this point.
Well, I would absolutely agree with you. I mean, the thing about this is, Mark, is we're not just ignoring it. We're up here talking about Anthony Bourla as a hero, or Trump is.
Yep.
And Bourla, I would argue, intentionally is giving people cancer. I would argue that. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, listen, we've got numerous studies talking about the contamination with SCB40. He didn't pull it. But even with that, it's more than that. It's not just that there's SV40 in it. It's that we now know there's at least one study showing that SV40 promoter was in it. That can't be there by accident. I believe Pfizer is intentionally giving people cancer so that they can sell the treatment. I mean, they went out and bought a bunch of cancer companies. They've got SV40 in there. They didn't pull it off the market. They didn't do anything about it. They continued to push it. And meanwhile, Trump's up here telling us this guy who's intentionally causing cancer, in my opinion, is some kind of a hero. I mean, he's intentionally creating a disease so that he can profit off it, or at least it looks that way. Am I wrong?
Nope. You just described America's healthcare system, sir. It's exactly what it is. Here's the way it works. Let me just break it down for everybody out there in simple layman's terms. Pharma has been empowered by policies to make money that is made off of drugs. They take the money and they lobby politicians, including one President Trump and everybody that takes money from pharma. And then they in turn lobby and make policies that actually promote the ability to create disease processes, including processed foods that are subsidized and subsidizing medications to make them cheaper and more available for people. And they're coming at you and saying, we're going to help you with this faux healthcare system, which is not about health. It's about sickness. And it's an ideal system. Look, and I'm not an evil guy, but if I'm evil, I'm going to run it just like that, man. I'm going to make sure that my clientele are going to increase. And the only way I'm going to make money in the healthcare system is to keep people sick. Beautiful, beautiful process. And I'll say to, President Trump and everybody else involved up there, you guys have done a great job, really awesome job of creating sickness in America. Just keep going, man. It's making your pockets richer and making everybody's more poor and making us all more dependent upon a system that never is about health.
100%. I mean, listen, I got to be honest with you, Mark. This is repulsive to me as I'm watching, and I'm watching very carefully. There is no question. If a lawyer, not a doctor, not a scientist, not a, any sort of a neurosurgeon or oncologist, nothing like that, just some random lawyer from Ohio can sniff this out and find it several years ago. Tell me that these scientists didn't know. They knew what this was going to do. Why do you think that Biden started funding to the tune of billions of dollars cancer research 5 minutes after he decided to start mandating these jabs all over? It was because it was all a plot. It was always a plot. It was part of the Great Reset, part of the population control. And it would be bad enough if the plot ended there. But the fact that we now have the idiocy occurring in this administration where they're still supporting this guy, one of the most horrific human beings on the planet. I mean, this guy's company is knowingly giving a jab that's going to cause cancer in children and doing nothing about it. And I can say that because, listen, if you know your product is contaminated with SV40 and you know that SV40 causes cancer and you don't remove it from the market, what's that tell you? What are you doing? You're selling something that can cause cancer. I mean, tell me that that's not intent.
No, I think you look at that, that's clearly intent. And I'm going to tell you there's more coming after that because they're not stopped. They're actually supported and celebrated. We saw that. I mean, let's celebrate with a $70 billion deal. Everybody wants to make a deal. You know what? Well, the deal I'd like to make a deal that, and I'll solve this problem. Government shutdown, politicians don't get paid at all. And if you don't figure it out, you don't come back to work. We'll get somebody else there that will. And the minute you're out of Congress, you need to get your own job, your own health care like everybody else does. You need to get your own job. Your salaries right now should be donated to people that are cleaning your damn houses, mowing your yard on the government's dollar that ain't getting paid for it.
Amen.
And then you got to stop allowing Big Pharma to advertise on network TV to all of us. You stop that, you're going to stop the education lobbying process. And every politician that takes money from pharma, you're not fit, in my book, to lead the country because our country's very sick and you failed. So, I mean, you go down the line and it's pretty, I mean, it's in a really sad, weird way, Tom. It's pretty funny that we're still sitting here talking about this when you know all the stuff that you know, and we continue to do the same old things again, expecting different result.
It's crazy to me. And here's the thing, like, I can't say Trump doesn't know any of this. It's obvious he knows some of it. But the way he's playing this game is absurd. He's playing with kids' lives. Let me show you. Ben, can we put this video on the screen? I want to show you this video. I think it's really
that's a lot too.
I've got a video here of Trump, and this is from today, right? Now, when we look at these vaccines and we look at what's going on, everybody knows that these things are just absolutely disastrous. And I mean, the 80-some vaccines for a child this year, I mean, it's just insane. So Trump's out here, and it's quite clear from his other press conference that he knew that the vaccines were a problem. That's what he talked about. And then they, try and make it all about Tylenol. The root cause of autism is not Tylenol. Tylenol can exacerbate it. It may cause some of it, but Tylenol became over the counter in 1959. There was no explosion of autism until the mid 80s when vaccines became, immune and the vaccine schedule started exploding. So let's listen to Trump here.
About the Pennsylvania Dutch, you were talking about the Amish, where they don't take any of this stuff, and they have virtually none, right? They have no autism.
They take none, and there's no autism.
Bad. Somebody's been given some bad things. Other countries, by the way, we have, I think, we have 82 vaccines that we give simultaneously. And I'm a vaccine believer, by the way. I believe in the polio vaccine.
Oh, yeah, you are.
I believe in a lot of vaccines. But when you give 82 vaccines in a shot to a little baby that hasn't even formed yet, it's a lot of vaccines. And in Japan, they give a much smaller number. In Germany, they give a much smaller, like 28 vaccines. That's a lot too, but 28's a lot different than 82. So, but I would say on the Tylenol, don't take it, and that will be I think it's going to be a big factor. I think it'll be I think it'll be a very good result, and I hope we're going to be able to see that result in the not too distant future, because certainly people have heard us loud and clear. That's why I bring it up again. That's why I asked you to talk about it, because this is a horrible thing. And
Yes,
if you
it
don't
is.
take it, I mean, you have to tough it through sometimes. There are other things you can do, but you have to tough it out. It's easy for me to say, but I think you're going to see numbers that will be it'll be so significantly improved, and maybe fully improved. I mean, there's something there. There's something going on, and we have to address it. And so I'm addressing it the best I can as a non-doctor.
Okay. I agree with one thing he said. This is horrible. This is horrible. And I got to be honest with you. I love Trump. I respect him on a lot of fronts. This is appalling to me. I mean, what you heard right there is a guy who knows damn well. Mark, you were a cop. I know. I mean, you're Dr. Mark now, and you're into, do what you do. But you were formerly a police officer. This sounds like someone who knows the truth and just can't say it. Somehow, somewhere, someone's telling him, Mr. President, yeah, these vaccines are the problem, but you can't just come out and say vaccines are the problem. You got to blame it on Tylenol. You got to beat around the bush. I mean, doesn't it sound like someone who's trying to make an excuse for something that they know is awful?
I think there's a lot of that, Tom. Honestly, this is not a direct slam on any president. I respect the office as well, and anyone that's in there, I'm going to pray for their success.
Absolutely.
However, as you correctly mentioned, Tylenol is not the problem. I'll go back to a photo. I think we all remember this photo. It was a photo of our current president. There was a candidate for president at that point in time with RFK, and I think there was a couple of people with him. They were on a plane, and they had pictures of McDonald's. And to me, that's the problem. It's a willful ignorance and a lack of compassion for the real problems in society. I'm not using McDonald's as a singular example. I'm using it as a figure of the example. This is something we need to understand. That is not okay. It is not okay to have inflammatory stuff coming in. And Tylenol, again, like you correctly stated, back in the 1950s, it became legal over the counter. So it's not that. The timing of the autism spectrum increase in our society was in the low 80s. That's when it really began to start, and that was coincided with the food pyramid, as we discussed a couple shows ago, and also this Vaccine Immunity Act being transferred. And so it is a conversion of the government getting involved in what they thought was health care. And it became health care less at that point. And it's been the same story on and on and on. I'm sorry to go on and on about that answer, but the answer that we're not doing to address the problem is right before us. This is nothing more or less than a classic deflection technique to take the real issue away, to push it over here, push it over there. It's almost like a shell game. And if we're really going to get healthy again and solve a problem, we got to do some drastic things, and this ain't it.
Yeah, well, that's 100% the case. I mean, we're not hitting the root cause. Root cause. The root cause is the jabs, the food, the environment. All these things contribute. But Mark, I'm going to even say this: 100% the GMO foods that we're eating, and they're all GMO at this point, right? I mean, at this point, if you want to buy soybeans, you want to buy wheat, you want to buy any of these things, they're all modified so that they can survive glyphosate. They're all modified because they're spraying these fields with poisons all over the place. They had to modify the plants so they could do it. Everything you eat is GMO. So, the thing about this is that the food is a contributor for sure. I don't have any question that Tylenol at the wrong stage can absolutely contribute. There's a lot of data on that, right? The root cause is very, very clear. The timing shows the root cause. The timing couldn't be more crystal clear. The root cause is when you start poisoning these children with these vaccines that have God knows what in them. And let's be honest about this. We don't know what's in them. Did you see SV40 listed on the Pfizer vaccine ingredient list? Me neither, because it wasn't. There's a ton of, we don't know what's in these, but why would we believe these people who are outright liars? Why would you ever trust someone who doesn't care about killing a child for money, which the COVID vaccines have never shown any efficacy whatsoever in children? Nothing. They do nothing positive at all for children, but yet these guys push them. So if you would push something that could kill a child but has no beneficial effect, that means that you're willing to risk a child's life for money. Yes. Why would we ever trust an industry full of people like that? Why would we trust anything they say? If you're willing to kill children for money, why would I believe what your vaccine list, your ingredient list? Why would I believe anything about what you do? You're willing to be a murderer. Mark, this blows my mind. What am I missing?
You're not. I mean, this is why people obviously do not trust the industry. They frankly, with merit, do not trust the government at all. I'm talking Republicans or Democrats here because the strings are continuing to be pulled. You mentioned, you probably undersell yourself, Tom. You're a good investigator, a good knowledge guy, but the bountiful wealth of available information right now that you look at, that I can look at, that John Q. Public can look at, that doesn't have to be a doctor is immense right now. The investigation that you've done, every single listener can do that for themselves right now. And for good reason. They shouldn't trust that industry. They shouldn't trust anything about it. They shouldn't trust anything that supports that. It is that bad, and it's setting us up for perpetual and continued failure in our health. And you mentioned it, and I'm very passionate about this. When we start talking about traumatizing, torturing, and killing the young or the youth, come on. How much more evil, cold, despicable can you become? And that's where we are. And I know people who are absolutely, they don't have a heart. They don't have feelings. They don't have the ability to understand. They're sociopathic. And Tom, we're dealing with a sociopathic leadership right now who cannot relate to the common folk anymore because the dollars, as you mentioned, appear to be leading the way of that cloud of deception.
Yeah. I mean, I just, when it comes to this issue, I am so disappointed in the president. And listen, I understand he's got Pam Pfizer Bondi there. And Susie Wiles, who still works for Mercury LLC, which is, they've represented Pfizer and Gavi and every other vaccine manufacturer on the planet. He's surrounded by people who don't believe in any sort of truth or honesty in healthcare. They're sellouts. So I understand that he's not allowed to meet with people like me or Peter McCullough. I understand that he's not allowed to meet with people that are going to tell him the truth. I understand that his gatekeepers keep them away from people who are going to tell him the truth so that he's got plausible deniability. But listen, we the people aren't stupid. This press conference was an embarrassment. I mean, he's beating around the bush. Oh, but I love vaccines, but they're giving our kids autism. Yeah, they're giving our kids autism. What do you love about them? Yeah. I mean, and you got a guy as sharp as Trump. I mean, this guy is he is a street brawler when it comes to negotiating and when it comes to business. Are you telling me that he doesn't know? I mean, I don't. This is repulsive to me, and I love the president but I don't love him on this issue. He has been, I'm going to go right out and say it, Mark. He's been an abject failure on this in terms of leading on this. He failed in Operation Warp Speed. He's failed. He's just because we're getting this much progress. If you know that this stuff's causing autism, and you won't come out and just go to war over it, there's a problem, and I'm just disappointed in it. I don't know, Mark. I know we're keeping you long, and I know you got to get out of here. You got any final words on it?
No, I just think, Tom, people need to become their own advocate, their own doctor per se, and if they'll do that, they're going to get better results. And I encourage everybody, please. Please do your own investigation. Everything that Tom has said today, just do your own investigation. Look at it for yourself. Make your own conclusions. And, in my world, I see people all the time that that won't do that. My job as a clinician today and my current role is to give people both sides of the two-sided coin, perhaps even a third side of a two-sided coin. And I want to give people the choices so they can have the informed consent to do what they want. I think that's the spirit and epitome of our land and our great nation. So I appreciate, what you do. And with that said, I encourage people to do the exact same thing. Go out there and continue to become an investigator and make your best choices for your own family. One family, one person, one community at a time, and that's what makes change occur.
Amen. Amen. Well, hey, go to TomRenz.com, support Mark Sherwood, sherwood.tv slash, is it slash Renz?
Yeah.
Slash Tom Renz, Tom Renz. And then use Renz at checkout. Make sure you're getting the Kingdom candy. You eat it with cheese. Got to eat it with cheese. And get Mark and Michelle. They're my doctors. Make sure you make an appointment with them. They're good people, just really good people. I'm honored to call you a friend, Mark, and I appreciate you being here. We'll have Mark back very, very soon. All right. Let's get into some other things. I think I'm going to, I think I'm just going to piss everybody off today since I'm already in trouble. Let's just get right into it. Let me show you this, and I'm a little bit grumpy with this. I'm going to get into some trouble here. We're going to, I want to pull up two things. I'm pissed, folks. I'm pissed, and I'm going to, I want to show you guys this in real time. So Jane Ruby dropped something today, and I'm going to share it with you. And I love Jane. She's a bit of a firebrand, but she's a good woman. Let me show you this video. This is a video of J.D. Vance and talking about Susie Wiles. Let's look at this. This makes me sick. Okay, this makes me sick.
And there was a weird little social media campaign to try to get Susie Wiles fired from her job, and she was running the Trump campaign at the time.
More than a social media campaign.
It was a full-on campaign, and I remember talking. Charlie Kirk called me, and he said, this thing to take down Susie is an op, meaning it's an operation meant to discredit us, meant to make us less effective. And the reason he thought it was so important to protect you is because he had such great respect for you. He thought you were such an incredible part of the team. You were sort of the person that held all the chaos together operationally in the midst of that very intense campaign. And so Charlie was thinking, as he always did, a little ahead of the curve. He was asking himself,
I'm done with this. I'm not even showing you the rest of this bullshit. Let me show you this. Here's J.D. Vance. I like J.D. Vance. He's done a great job. Here's how he's tied to mRNA. Do you know he's making money off of it, folks? You know he's making money off of it? Let me show you this. You see this? Here's Susie Wiles. Here's Susie Wiles. See co-chair, Mercury's Florida, Washington, D.C. offices? Do you see this, folks? How about the next one? Here's Mercury. You see who they represent right here? Pfizer. How about that? How about that, folks? How about this one? Gilead, right? How about we keep going? They're owned by Omnicom Group. You know who Omnicom Group is? World Economic Forum partner. Listen, I like JD. I like him. I think he's done a great job overall. This load of shit about protecting Susie Wiles is sellout. It is 100% sellout. I'm sorry, JD. I like you, but let's talk about this. You want to talk about taking someone down, and you want to call out, some of our greatest heroes. We're looking, JD, at what's going on here. We know who's making money off of this. Do you want this fight? Because I'm happy to have this fight. I'm happy to talk about this. We're not backing down. I love you guys. We're trying to support you, but you're selling our children down the river. We have kids dying from cancer, and you're out here defending a lobbyist for Mercury. Why is it that President Trump is still defending this poison? Why is he making a deal with Borla? Why is he doing this? Why is Bill Gates in the White House? I'm tired of this bullshit, folks. I'm tired of this. This is cowardice. We're not stupid. We've watched what's happened. This isn't disputable. I've got the screenshots. There's no op to take Susie Wiles down. All that's out there is truth. If you don't like the idea that Susie Wiles works for a company that represents Pfizer and Gilead and Gavi and Alibaba and CCP interests, then what's the problem, JD? Why shouldn't we talk about it? You tell me why we shouldn't talk about it. You tell me what the issue is. You're going to suggest to me that there's an op to take her down. Well, maybe if she wasn't working for evil people, no one would have questions. Maybe we were wondering why it is that President Trump, who's a great man, one of the greatest presidents in history, is, taking the wrong side on this every time. I wonder why. Now, I wonder why you're defending her, JD. I wonder why you're defending her. Well, I wonder if this is why. I wonder if this is why. How are you making money off of mRNA? I like J.D. Vance. I think he's been a badass in VP. But I'm not going to support him on his lies either. Quit lying. Maybe tell me some more that there's no Epstein list. How about that? Listen, you're destroying your own credibility. I understand there's a lot of fan club people who are going to be mad at me. Oh, Trump is Jesus and he makes no mistakes. Listen, Trump is a great man, great president. J.D. Vance is a great vice president. They're wrong on the COVID. They're wrong on the mRNA. They're wrong on vaccines. And them letting our children die because it's too politically hot, even for them, is bullshit. I'm tired of it, folks. I don't care how mad you are at me. I don't care. I cannot stand by and watch this sort of cowardice. I cannot stand by and watch children die. And they're dying over and over again. Now, we've got apologists out here. We've got apologists. We've got people who can't seem to get anywhere with this. They can't seem to, oh my God, it's so bad, folks. I'm looking through here and how many times do we have to show it? But it's not just the vaccines, right? It's not just the vaccines. Now here I want to show you this. So this is Laura Loomer. And Loomer, she's all in the bag for whatever. But here's Laura Loomer, right? Talking about James Comey. What's the punishment for treason again? Who the hell cares? They're throwing the case. Pfizer, Pam Bondi's throwing the case. Why? I don't know. Because she's deep state. Nothing's being done. Susie Wiles, who do you think was responsible for getting Pam Bondi in at AG? Pam Bondi, who worked with Susie Wiles at Ballard Partners. Who do you think was responsible for that, folks? You tell me. Why won't the conservative media talk about this? The freedom side, our side, the truth side, we're the ones supposed to be telling you the truth. If we can't tell you the truth, we're no better than the left. The reality is there's politics on both sides and even in the Trump administration. And, someone's got to be out there talking about the truth on this. So I am. I don't care. But Comey, they're throwing the case. Laura's asking, what's the punishment for treason? Who cares? They threw the case. It turns out that the attorney who's doing this isn't officially going to be able to do this. There's a very good chance this case gets thrown. And Comey, who's never been arrested, perp walked, or embarrassed in any way, shape, or form, it may well get off scot-free, just like Diddy, just like everybody else. All these guys, they throw these cases because they don't want to actually do anything. How many deep staters have been perp walked, like Peter Navarro or Steve Bannon? How many of these guys, you can't even get mugshots like they did to Donald Trump. Part of my frustration with Trump on the mRNA is that he's getting used and he doesn't know it. Part of this is out of support for him. I don't think he fully realizes how lousy some of the people around him are. He certainly didn't with Bill Barr. So tell me about the plan, folks. Tell me about the plan as Anthony Borla is sitting next to Trump. You tell me about it. There's no plan. There's plans, but Donald Trump is being manipulated by a bunch of crooks that are around him. So we look at this, look at the double treatment. And, here you've got it. Here you've got Benny Johnson, who is, he's not exactly, he's all in the bag for Trump, which I am too. I support Trump, but he's not exactly, but he's pointing out to this. He says, James Comey's not being blocked. He's still holding on to his cell phone and hard drives. Why is it that the deep state, why is it that there's two-tier justice? Well, because we have lobbyists and deep staters in the White House. They're surrounding the president and they're manipulating him. They're pushing him. Let me pose to you that, I think Trump knows about the vaccines. I do. And I know he's been informed about mRNA. But let me pose this to you. What if the deep staters are just doing on the vaccines? What if it's across the board? What if they really are deep state? I don't know. Can I prove that Susie Wiles deep state? No, but I can sure show you that she works for Mercury LLC. To my knowledge, I can't find anything showing that she quit the job. Mercury LLC, that's owned by Omnicom, a WEF partner. I just showed you the pictures. What do you want? You going to tell me I'm wrong? I showed you pictures. I showed you screenshots. They're not doctored. I pulled them from the website of Mercury LLC and from WEF's website. That's where they're from. You tell me. Tell me why there's an issue. There's no op. By the way, when I broke this originally, guess what? I broke this. When I broke this originally, you know who asked me to do it? Nobody. I had a lot of people ask me to do things once I broke it. Did some homework. Looked into some things, found some really shady things. By the way, if I could tell you guys what I know that's under attorney-client privilege, trust me, there's a reason I'm doing this, folks. But this is corruption at the highest levels, right? Now, here we got Emerald Robinson and Patrick Byrne's talking about. So let me show you this one. So here's Emerald Robinson and Patrick Byrne. And you've got this thread here, right? So Patrick Byrne's talking about these guys that are, these deep staters. And they're asking about these people. They're asking about Harmeet Dillon. Harmeet, I think she does some good work, but, she's done a fair bit of cleanup for Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi in the White House. I know that. Folks, there are foxes in the hen house. We can see this. It's not hard. I ask here, why is Bill Gates in the White House? Why has Trump made a deal with Pfizer-Borla? Why are there no prosecutions? Why are there still J6ers in prison? We have problems because there are snakes. We're not draining the swamp. We're running out of time. We hired Trump to drain the swamp. It's not getting done. Now I see J.D. Vance, of all people, one of the guys that I really liked, out here making excuses for the Pfizer lobbyist. This is insane. Who told him to do that, by the way? Who told him to do that? JD's trying to set himself up for president. He'll probably get it. That's we can do worse, but he owns mRNA. Is that what we want, folks? Are we okay with that? Are we okay with this? I'm okay with him doing what he has to do. I'm not okay with him lying to us and defending a lobbyist who's undermining the health of our children and who's undermining Maha. There's a reason that Bobby can't get done what we all know he wants to do. It ain't because, it ain't for any reason other than he's been told he can't do it. Who's doing that? Who's pulling these strings? You heard Donald Trump in that clip. Does anybody really want to tell me that was Trump at his best? He was dancing around it. He knows damn well the vaccines are the problem. But no, we don't want to talk about it. We're too afraid. The conservatives are too afraid because if they question Susie Wiles, they'll get cut off. You can't work in the administration or get access to Donald Trump or anybody else in the administration if you question Susie Wiles. Did you know that? That's a big rule. That's an unspoken thing. when Trump was winning the election, a lot of people were asking me, hey, you try and get a position with the executive branch? I said, I don't have a chance. I spoke out about Susie Wiles. I mean, it's just that simple. I had a couple of people ask me, hey, you interested in this, interested in that? And I said, no, you won't be able to get me through. Wiles won't let me through. I knew what was going on, but I knew that when I told the truth, right? And I don't care because someone's got to get the truth out. That's what we're doing here. There are foxes in the henhouse, and until we do something about it, there's going to continue to be problems. All right. Well, Mary Tyler Bowden has asked that question. I got posts on that. I've got, here, you can see it. Look at Ben is like lightning. He is just on it. So here, Mary Tyler Bowden asked, POTUS cut a deal with Pfizer. Is Bill Gates next? mRNA is here to stay. She's right. She's frustrated because she sees people dying from it all over the place. So it's a fair question. Will the lobbyists working with Trump convince him the deal with man boobs is good for America? That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. Because this isn't about anything other than lobbyists working for Trump pushing him. Aren't doing anything about it. Hodge twins, they said, this is funny to me. So we got 20 CIA, FBI insiders confirmed that Barack Obama and former CIA director orchestrated the entire Russia hoax. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Hodge twins get it. They're going to do a damn thing. You know why they're going to do anything? Because they're cowards and sellouts around Trump that are going to make sure that it doesn't get done right. That's what's going to happen. Absolutely nothing. You got some good people. Tulsi Gabbard's wonderful. RFK's wonderful. The Democrats, the Reformed Democrats are the best we've got. I love Trump. I actually like Vance too. I'm really disappointed in this whole Vance Wiles nonsense. I mean, it's just appalling to me. It's just absolutely appalling. I don't know. I just don't know, folks. But what I do know is that we're not in a good spot. We're not winning. Everybody wants to tell us we're winning. Everybody wants to feel good and sit back and say we're winning. We're not winning. We're getting our asses handed to us by a bunch of deep staters who are far too clever and who've gotten away with it because we're all tired. We're tired of going through everything. We're tired of dealing with everything. All right. I want to hit a few other things before we end today because we got some important things happening. Government shutdown, right? This is interesting. I got to refer to my notes on this because I don't know. You got House guy, Republicans blaming Democrats blaming Republicans. Trump's actually being very smart. He doesn't care. Let it shut down because he's, doing all sorts of things. And this is why we do love Trump, right? I don't have to love him everywhere to love him on some things. And I do love what he's doing here. He's doing a great job having this shutdown. Polling, Washington Post, and most of these other leftist groups are saying that everybody is blaming Republicans, but a lot fewer, actually, I would say, than we've seen in some of the past shutdowns. One of the interesting things when I looked at the polling on this was that I had a hell of a time finding out how many people actually care that the shutdown's occurring. We found one Harvard poll that sort of kind of indicates that there's some level of caring. But honestly, I don't think anybody cares. I really don't think anybody cares. The shutdown doesn't affect anybody. The government is broken. They don't do anything good other than waste money and cause troubles. On the plus side, we got a whole bunch of IRS agents out right now. The IRS is slower. We got slower giveaways, slower. I mean, they're dropping bureaucrats that we don't really want anyway. So I don't know. The shutdown thing is an interesting thing to me, and it's kind of irrelevant. So I'm kind of glad to see it happening, to be honest. Headline: Senate report: AI could wipe out 100 million U.S. jobs in a decade. Could? We're moving towards universal basic income, folks. That's where we're going. And we also need a smaller population, not to suggest that has anything to do with the jabs or Big Pharma or the what's happening there. But we're moving towards universal basic income. There's not going to be jobs. I mean, we're building all these AI this, AI that, and America has no choice but to do that, because if we don't win the AI race, they're going to destroy our country. This is a defense thing, right? China's building AI. Russia's building AI. Every one of our enemies is building AI. If we don't win this, our country loses. So the problem is that who wins? Right? Whether, us making sure we don't lose to China is a big deal, but who's going to win the AI race? Because guess what we're doing? We're building a predator. We're building something smarter than us. We're building something more effective than us. And what happens when it's self-aware and doesn't need us? And I understand it's never going to have a soul, but that doesn't mean it can't do a lot of damage. I mean, it's going to be a disastrous thing. The idea, we're going to lose 100 million jobs. And it's interesting because I hear people will get a trade job. That'll be there. No, the AI-powered bots are going to take the trade jobs. There aren't going to be any trade jobs. The only jobs that will be left are people-to-people jobs and art jobs. Because, well, I mean, human art can't be replaced by a machine. And part of it's because we make mistakes. I mean, it's the human part of art that makes it interesting. It's not predictable. It's not measurable. It's not quantitative. It's art. So we're going to see some of that continue. If you want, I mean, you have your kid major in pottery, I guess. We're going to see people-to-people jobs. Those are going to be cut down. Relationship type jobs, things where you have to have a personal relationship with people. Those will continue to an extent. But a lot of that's going to be all your accountants, your fast food counter workers are projected to go down 89%. Accountants are going to drop 64%. 47% of truck drivers going to be gone. I think it'll be a lot more than 47%. I don't know why there would be a truck driver if you have an AI that can run your truck. Why do you need that? I don't think that there's going to be much there. There's just no reason to have it there. What happens when we lose 100 million jobs? Where are they going to go? What are you going to do with it, folks? You got hundreds of millions of people out of work. How do they earn a living? What's their purpose? Well, the only thing they can have is universal basic income. And guess what? We're shifting to a first. For the first time in human history, a nation with smaller population is going to be more profitable than a nation with bigger population. There's going to be AI is going to create a financial incentive to have fewer people. And AI can reduce people. There was just a headline, there's just some reporting. AI was used to create these COVID jabs, which are killing people. I'm not saying that's, I'm not saying there's a relationship there, but, well, I mean, maybe someone should connect some dots here. Bill Gates, he loves AI and he loves vaccines and he loves all these things. Why? Bill Gates is on the winning side. He makes more profit when there's fewer people. He's always been a eugenicist. But I mean, the guy's a sicko. We're moving, we're sprinting, and Trump isn't stopping it. We're sprinting towards this AI future, and I don't think Trump can stop it. The AI, now I don't like what he's doing on vaccines, but with AI, I don't think he has a choice. If we don't win the AI arms race, we're going to lose it to a place like China. They're going to destroy us using their advanced AI. So we have to win that. But the problem is when we win the AI race, humanity loses. It doesn't matter who wins it. You don't need jobs when AI can do everything. And guess what? Look at Musk's Optimus robots. Look at them. They can do anything we can do, and they're going to be able to do it better. There isn't going to be a trade job on the planet that those robots can't do better than us, and cheaper and more effectively. There's not going to be any. That's where the future's going. It's not bright, folks. Unless we find a way to justify all the useless eaters, because we're going to have them. 100 million people who lose their jobs. What are they going to be? Well, if you look at it the way Bill Gates does, they're going to be useless eaters. What are you going to do with that? You can't find a job. You can't get a job. There's no jobs for you to have. what are you going to do? You're going to use resources. You're going to be on government welfare. That's universal basic income. I don't know, folks. It's not good, and we're not winning, and I'm not trying to be depressive or down. It's just a mess. We're getting wins, and I'm very excited about those, but overall, it's looking a little bit bleak. We need your support. Go to TomRenz.com. Check out our shop, our sponsors and affiliates. Also support us at GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw, GiveSendGo.com/RenzLaw. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hopefully we'll be a little cheerier tomorrow, and we will be back very soon.
Thank you for watching the Tom Renz Show. Join us live Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, putting an axe in the skull of tyranny.
The MAGA revolution in cryptocurrency is here, reclaiming financial freedom for every American. Tired of globalist banks and deep state control? Blockchain is our weapon for sovereignty. Be a step ahead with Animus AI technology. Ranked #1 worldwide, exclusively available through Block Trust IRA. But beware, the wild ride volatility and scams lurk. Yet, with Trump-era policies like the Genius Act, we're tokenizing prosperity for veterans and the heartland. Globalist elites are panicking as leftist-controlled banks scrabble in the dust as MAGA investors access revolutionary technology. Reclaim your freedom with Block Trust IRA.
Join the fight to protect your wealth. Go to TomRenzCrypto.com and talk to Block Trust IRA now.